Alright. So the player that we're going to be focusing on today is Nick. Playing for Granit Gaming. And we're just going to keep this mostly centered on the lad here. I'm going to go zoom out a bit even. We'll speed this up a bit. So early game already, this one it's not like a huge deal. But I think right here, anytime you're just kind of standing out in the middle of lane like this, you're kind of just saying like the only possible way I can do anything is if you misplay. And I do this a lot because I'm lazy. And I don't think it's a big deal for Nick, but I think that generally if you're in the middle of lane like this, you will literally only get anything done if the enemy team is lazy or like making a misplay or not paying attention. So he gives Hanzo a scatter stack or two, it's whatever. Trades here into D.Va. You actually lose the trade into D.Va in multiple ways. She just will out-sustain you in an auto-attack fight. And also you're giving her pulse self-destruct charge. So I talk about it a decent bit, but like she's actually a pretty bad target to trade with as Tracer, which is kind of annoying. But you are rather adept at killing pilot D.Va, so... So right there, the first time I saw this, I thought this this recall was like super questionable. I'm actually going to turn down the game sound a bit. I thought this recall was super questionable the very first time I ever saw it in CCL, and I was like wondering why he did it when he still had the kill. And I realized that it's because he's scared of getting stunned by Uther on this follow-up. And so he backs out and lets his teammates finish off instead, so that way he doesn't get killed by the enemy team off of Hammer of Justice. Because if he gets Hammer of Justice and Hanzo hits a Q on him, he's suddenly in a really bad spot, especially because Sleep Dart might be able to follow up on that as well. I don't know what Sleep Dart's CD was at the time. Looks like it was up, but I don't know what it was right there. I think that generally he probably just got a little bit too far up on the kill right there on Mephisto. Like he literally went too far north, and that put him into Hammer of Justice range, and it was a little bit avoidable, but again, minor positioning mishap. Didn't really have a hugely negative outcome. I don't really understand why they were so late to this turret camp. Like, I personally think you should be on turret camp when it spawns. Because every second that you have your turret camp ticking before the other person's turret camp is, before the other team's turret camp, that's just more and more likelihood of having an item advantage. So let me see right here. What is the situation? So they take their turret camp, they're going up in lane, and then now the enemy team has just now finished turret. So you can see right here, if you're late to turret camp, stuff like this happens. So Junkrat is one of the best boss control, camp control heroes in the game. Because what you can do is you can put down Junkrat's concussion mine on the point right here. And Junkrat's concussion mine cooldown ticks while it's on the ground. Not after detonation, but while it's on the ground. Like, it's like after you press it. You don't need to detonate it. So you can see he's already got this cooldown ticking. So once enough time passes, you can actually detonate it and instantly put down another W and detonate that one too. So it's incredibly difficult to contest camps versus Junkrat, especially this camp right here. So just GG is using the fact that they know that their offlaner had out-rotated the enemy offlaner. You can see that Zergling is still clearing this wave that Nintori has already long cleared and rotated out of. So their offlaner got a wave clear advantage. Their DPS and healer got a turret timing advantage, and about 6 seconds, which is very significant. And if they had gone about 3 seconds earlier, it would have been 9 seconds even more. And they had Junkrat, who's insane for camp control. So this should be a nearly guaranteed heal camp right here. Yep, you can see they go ahead and they take the heal camp. You're all good. The kind of hard part about playing Tracer in the early game is like, where do you go? Because he basically just wants to hit like Uther, Mephisto, Hanzo. He can maybe gank D.Va if D.Va's low, but that's just about it. So right here, like, they go all in on Zergling, but Zergling can just dive away. Zergling has 2 healers. I really think the only way that ever serves a purpose, zoning right here, is if you zone the guy, if you catch somebody that's not D.Va, like a Hanzo solo rotating, then like, yeah, you're going to get the kill probably. Or if you stay here and zone them from getting in lane and picking up the experience globes. But neither one of those things happened. Like, they didn't get the kill, and they didn't zone the enemy player out of anything meaningful. So I think that gank right there was like kind of into double support, and when D.Va still needed to rotate bottom. And maybe they could have held it longer to deny D.Va some XP globes? I really don't know. I think the problem of Wildheart taking their siege camp at the correct time is going to work wonders for Wildheart here. However, the fact that GG has the heal camp is a pretty big boon. So again, Nick is just kind of chilling in a place where like he can't really do anything as a hero. He could at least be on his mount. I think he needs to be like on the flank on his mount. So here you can hit this minion wave if you need to build bomb charge. Right there it's a little questionable. Here GG goes all in on a D.Va with full bomb charge, which seems like super questionable to me because you need to pull off the perfect CC chain to get it. I think Stukov needed a lurking arm and then this play could have made sense. So I'm actually curious to see what Henning did right here. We can see lurking arm is available. They probably call the kill target right here. Oh, he tries to, and then the E comes out just barely. So that was actually pretty close to being a good play by GG. And if they had pulled it off, then D.Va would have lost her mech. But even then, like, they wouldn't have actually gotten a kill and they would have blown a lot of their burst. So I'm actually still kind of skeptical if they win the fight even with that. I don't know. I think that going all in on a D.Va is a little questionable. Like a D.Va with an explosion, unless she's like hella caught out. Regardless, they still have their turret up sooner than Wildheart does, so they're already almost done by the time Wildheart is kind of halfway through it. And so, because Wildheart is still working on their turret, you can see how the advantage of having the turret just over and over and over again keeps compounding. And because now they get control over the objective right here, because blue team is still clearing the turret. And blue team doesn't really want to fight this super hard without their Hanzo, who's still on camp. So now Zergling's just getting bullied, and then Zergling dies, because blue overly contested this point while they were behind on turret. So it's really nice they got that second turret, but they need to play to that. And this just shows you how in Volskaya being absolutely picture-perfect crisp on your camp timings immediately translates into control of the first objective. I actually think like Volskaya is a map that like is played really poorly by some teams in CCL. Like, you can tell they don't really understand, like, when to rotate, when to do the camps. Not that that's necessarily this team, although I do think that Wildheart has had some shaky showings on it, on Volskaya, both in this game and in the one played this most recent weekend. And here you can see right here, they have an Entori just sitting on the point. And the control point while unlock text is bugged out, but they're at 99%. So, let me see, can I... Oh, I didn't want to go back that far. Okay. That's a little further back than I wanted to go. Okay. Yeah, you can see how they had that, like, control point will unlock text is bugged out. So right now, GG knows... Or, hold on, this is first combo on D.Va. Go a little bit past that. They take turret camp. They have advantage over blue. While blue has Hanzo and turret camp, they punish out D.Va. Okay, so off of that D.Va kill, they know that D.Va's going to be late over here. And they get on this camp right here. So again, they have a Junkrat, and Junkrat is insane camp control. They have an item advantage where they already have an existing biotic as well. Nintori is on the point, and they have 99%. So if Wildheart just goes and 5 contest this, then they just automatically lose the Triglav. So they can't go 5 contest this. And they don't know exactly how many people are up there versus down here. So they end up just sending their whole team and just giving this. I'm going to be doing replay review for a while, Surly Duff Beer, so I appreciate the redemption for the 5 blue boxes, but it'll be a while. Okay, so here, they actually full combo D.Va and do what they're supposed to do, which is time it with the lurking arm, and that's really good. And again, we just kind of see Zergling getting abused right here. Huge stab by Sko. But that one came down to just already having an item advantage, which I think they overly used their items here, to be honest. I think that they just got into a fight and just dropped most of their stuff without thinking. Actually, hold on. No, anyway. But like, that was just a well-executed Imperious stab into Lurking Arm combo. And so now here, they get this Trig Glove, they're going to take it top lane, and they're going to shoot at this Healing Fountain over the wall. Looks like they're electing to just take out the gate first. They're pretty confident that they can push this very hard with their 10 advantage, and then take out the Healing Fountain. Yeah, a lot of times if you just want to guarantee you get that Healing Fountain, you'll shoot it over the wall. And they're even staying for the push here. I think that they were probably better off disabling this fort with the Rocket Fist instead of pushing the Uther away. And you can see right here, the fort still has some damage. And it's a very awkward situation where they could have finished it off. Imperious is getting womboed. Swamp Grota forced to just pop his Riptire instantly. Nick just trying to pulse bomb anything. Really good play by Stukov to push away the lurky or the self-destruct. There's not a whole lot for Nick to do. And I'm supposed to be reviewing Nick's Tracer, but I'm kind of just talking about the game in general. Because I feel like when Nick is following up on his team's burst calls, it's good, and that's typically what Nick does. Like, Nick is, like, where he's supposed to be in terms of, like, a map sense. Like, he's in the right area of the map all the time. But I think there's, like, micro-optimizations that could be better, just typically about just, like, being on the side of things, not just standing out in vision, that I could probably go over more. So I'll try to focus on that more from here on out. Yeah, Zergling, like, he doesn't have bomb charge, but they just won't be able to lock him down enough for that gank. Okay, so hold on. I want to see this from red side's perspective. Okay, so you see Mephisto top. You see Uther Hanzo in mid lane right now. And then you go in on this. And there's an Ana right there. Based on where I just saw those other two players, I'm going to get in this Ana's face. I'm going to get on this Ana's face, and I'm going to sit right here. So that way Uther can't surprise me around the corner, because if I'm right here, Uther can surprise me around the corner from out of vision and stun me and just stun chain me and I die. Because I don't know the Divine Storm is not available. Because I just saw them over here, right? So either the enemy team is over here, and I can just kill this Ana for free, or they're right here, and I can zone them out. I think either way would have worked, to be honest. No matter where the enemy team is. Like, you can see right here, they're still over there in the top right, and this Ana's kind of just existing unperturbed. Instead, Nick goes on the Hanzo for some reason, without any CC to set him up. And then also does not recall when he gets hit by the Durance of Hatred, causing him to take a lot of damage and actually get out-traded by a Mephisto, who's one of the easiest matchups in the game for Tracer. I think right there, he maybe wanted to intercept Durance for his team, but I doubt it. And recall it off afterward, but overall, this is just a really sloppy fight from GG. I think that he could have been zoning out Ana in the top left from the start of the fight, and I think that the target choice was a little bit questionable. Let's see. No, you've got the Dragon Strike, splitting GG, forcing Sko to stay in deep. If that bomb hit unaverted, he still would have likely jumped out. Yeah, it's mostly just like bully the Ana earlier, hit pulse bomb, which is hard, I miss it all the time, and recall when the Durance of Hatred hits you, if it even hits you in the first place. Those are my big things to say for Ana, or Tracer. You know, Overwatch hero. He doesn't need to back out of this fight. I don't know why he ran away. Let's look at that again. It's like, let's see what the situation is right here. Like, Mephisto's right here, and he just runs away. Mephisto's not going to bully you again, and you could totally go in on this Uther right here. Like, this Mephisto, at minimum, is at threat of dying if Tracer's here. some bullying onto Mephisto. I wouldn't be surprised if we see GG get 13 and then take an aggressive play for this heal camp, just like they've done twice already. Where once they have the advantage, they use that window to force the heal camp. I'd probably do it right after this wave. You can see Sko setting up vision. Junkrat's also got a trap in here. There's already a concussion mine. That's exactly what I was expecting. There's a second trap. Already a concussion mine on it. Perfect. Nick's where he should be. I think this face check's a little questionable, but it's okay. Because, like, there's no reward, you know what I mean? Like, it's all risk, no reward. Just moving aggressively into that bush. I really wish they took that fort earlier with the Rocket Fist, instead of pushing Uther away in top lane. I remember, like, right here, trading with D.Va is super troll because the only thing you're going to accomplish is giving D.Va self-destruct charge. Like, Nick has wasted his bomb cooldown and given D.Va self-destruct charge for virtually no benefit. I guess it gets D.Va a little bit lower in the offlane. You're never going to win this trade into an Ana. Ooh. Yeah, I was going to say, there wasn't much reason to be there, because you're never going to kill the Hanzo or the Ana. You're only at risk of dying because you'll never have a positive result. His team needs to be playing safe while he's on camp. It looks like they know that. They're chilling. Tracer and Shen go and take over turret camp. At this point, GG's got to be thinking about playing for 16. Is Pulse Rounds better than Quantum or situational? I think all Tracer 10s are situational. I almost always go Pulse Rounds in solo queue, but I think in comp all of them are situational. You see 2 top lane, this play is perfectly fine. Like, this is what you should be doing while the enemy team has 2 top and you have more than enough time to get it before they finish their charge. Zergling face check. This is like a really late response from the team. It looks like they didn't know if they wanted to go in on Zergling or not. And then again, just like pulse bombing a D.Va mech that has self-destruct ready to go. I feel like it's a consistent trend here. It's because they thought the combo would land. So that makes sense. If you think the lurking arm is going to land, I can see that working. So it's just another case of slow execution with heading on the... not even slow, just misplaced execution with the combo. I don't know if that's a heading problem, or I don't know if that's like a comms problem or what. But free smoke up, just to touch on what you said earlier. So for anybody who doesn't know, I'll pull up the 10s just so you can see. Sticky Bomb puts a massive slow on your pulse bomb once it explodes. Not once it's applied, but once it explodes. And everybody in the radius is slowed. Just everybody in radius takes 6% max health, all heroes in the radius. Because this used to even do % damage to buildings back in the day. It was a huge meme, we loved it. And Pulse Rounds just doubles the range of Pulse Bomb, and the auto attacks against heroes also double in their charge rate granted. So Pulse Rounds is good because it just gives you more rounds of Pulse Generator, which is every time you stick a bomb you get healing and a blink charge. This talent's busted. This talent is disgustingly overpowered. Like, I'm of the opinion that Is That a Health Pack is arguably too strong of an ability, and it's not as good as Pulse Gen. It just gets blown out of the water by Pulse Gen. This talent is ridiculously busted. And Pulse Rounds just gives you more triggers of it. Like, it's actually kind of crazy to me that you spend your 10 just trying to trigger your 4 more often. Quantum Spike is obviously good because more damage. Sticky Bomb is obviously good because it's a really big slow on a bunch of people. What do you need that game? Do you need better survivability for yourself and more mobility? Pulse Rounds. Do you want to blow people up more? Quantum Spike. Do you want to provide CC for your team? Sticky Bomb. All 3 are viable depending on the game. Now that GG has 16, they can go ahead and pressure this objective, and Blue knows that. Wildheart can't really play for it. Hate that the UI is bugging out over here. Makes it kind of hard to track how much they have in terms of trickle up charge. But that was played very well by Red. Just while Blue team was topside, they went ahead and took turret camp. This is one thing right here, so I'm really going to be looking out for this, y'all. Bullet spray. This talent is kind of seen as the default by European tracers, and I heavily disagree with that. I don't think bullet spray is going to be the best choice in the vast majority of games. I think you're almost always going to get better value out of heavy-handed or out of ricochet. I'm going to be looking out to see what bullet spray accomplishes this game, and I doubt it's going to be much. His talent, I don't think, is that good. And for anybody wondering, you get charged from your melee hitting enemies, especially enemy heroes. Bullet spray, if you hit enemy heroes, you do not get extra charge. You don't get extra charge from hitting extra targets. I think that typically if you're looking to burst somebody, heavy-handed is going to be better. If you're looking to play for long fights, ricochet is typically going to be better. And heavy-handed can even be better in long fights too, because it has a ridiculously high uptime. You can literally have 12 straight seconds of minus 15 armor on a target, thanks to 1-2 punch and bullet spray. I don't really see the situation where bullet spray comes out to help you. And yeah, it's like wave clear, shrine clear, whatever, but it's at level 16 on tracer. Like, okay. Yeah, I get you free smoke. I'm glad that that was able to help you. They're special named accounts. These are just their own accounts. Their organizations paid for them to have to rename their Battle.net accounts. It's still they're just regular accounts. Unaverted was forced to pop his medallion. Oh, that last keg hit from Nintori was disastrous. What's your TLDR on the game so far? Nick is playing with his team pretty well. He's just has some micro inefficiencies. Some of it is missing bomb due to the team's combos not being very well combined. Their combos just aren't crisp, possibly because of the EU connection. But typically he's going where he should be. It's not insanely impressive or anything, and I think that his in-fight positioning is fairly not great. I'm talking about both, Coffee. I think that I'm talking about Nick, but I'm also talking about how the game is going. Because I think you need to know what the team is doing to understand what the Tracer is doing. Because she's going with the team, And I think the team fight positioning, the target choices are sometimes poor, but maybe they're just going on the common kill target every time. But they could still be doing more to just play around what the enemy team has and to play on the sidelines of things. And I don't think bullet spray is going to do anything this game. I think it will accomplish absolutely nothing. Right here, he could just be hitting Uther. That's the kind of the thing with Nick. I see all these times where he just, could be hitting, but, isn't. He's just kind of standing in vision in, the middle of lane or something, not hitting. So far, bullet spray hasn't done anything, but that's okay. They haven't really had, a big team fight. It's a really good lurking arm from Henning. Did he need to recall that? He has Medallion. And if he medallioned that, he could have been on this Mephisto a lot sooner rather than waiting for recall. And I think that would have maybe given him the kill. If you medallion and get on the Mephisto right away, rather than recalling and getting on Mephisto after 1.25 seconds, I think he could have gotten the Mephisto right there. And see, right here, this whole time, heavy-handed would have gotten sick value this game. Have you noticed all of these, single target melees he's doing, where bullet spray is giving literally 0 value? If he was heavy-handed, he's getting so much value. Even if he's just ricochet, the passive value from his auto attacks would be huge. Why did he back there? Or why did he recall? A really good stab from Sko. We're on funds here. He tries to go in and pulse bomb. The pulse bomb's just a little bit in the wrong direction. And then there's a melee. You can recognize the bullet spray animation. Get some damage onto funds. There we go. Keep expecting Stukov's healing pathogen to bounce to blue team targets. Seems good. Yeah, I think that generally Nick is getting caught by too much CC and also isn't handling it correctly when he does get caught by CC. And the fact that he's getting caught by CC is because he just kind of stands in the middle of things instead of on the sidelines as much as he should. The Divine Storm, not really. But like the Durance of Hatred, this fight, and the one on the enemy turret, yeah. I think Blood Spray doesn't do anything most games. This is questionable if you ask me. They don't have their Tracer. Like, if they were going to throw the game, this would be how. Oh, I know, Coffee. Which is why I think he should be on sidelines and not in the middle of the fight where he can just get hit by abilities that are aiming at his team. You know what I mean? Like, if you're in the middle of your team, then you're going to be hit by CC that's aiming at your team. Whereas if you're on the sideline as Tracer, the enemy has to choose, okay, am I hitting the Tracer, who might dodge it? Or, so like, am I going to shoot at just Tracer with this skill shot, who might dodge it? Or am I going to shoot at her team and not shoot at Tracer at all? And either way is good for the Tracer. You know what I mean? Like, that's like some of the basic theory of why Tracer is good into skill shot heroes. Is because it's so hard to actually get value out of skill shots versus this hero, because either you're not shooting at the Tracer and Tracer gets to do whatever she wants and you only have 4 viable targets, or you are, and now you only have 1 viable target who's really hard to hit. Again, hitting D.Va here does nothing except risk death. Like, I think there's this weird sort of over-priority on doing meaningless damage to D.Va that is only risk and no reward that we're consistently seeing out of Nick. And we saw it right there. D.Va could have had a random just extra 2,000 damage done to her right there, and that still would have been a feed. And I think that that's a pretty good example of, like, when something is a bad idea, is when you can say, like, even if everything went literally perfectly, this is still a feed. It is flawed from a fundamental level how much pressure Nick is trying to put onto D.Va in situations where it's going to do absolutely nothing. And so because Nick inted, now all of a sudden his team is incredibly out of position. And they just went from a guaranteed win to having to drop their heal camp to Henning about to die right here. Was Henning actually going to die? Nah, he gets out, but they have to lose their heal camp. And they no longer get to siege this keep, and Henning actually dies. Whereas if he doesn't just, like, weirdly hit D.Va for no reason, red team basically guaranteed wins the game. That was just an int from Nintori. They don't call him Intori for no reason. Alrighty. And so you can see here what went from basically a guaranteed win to, oh god, we're behind. We're actually not behind, we're even. Because now by the time Jen is up and is actually at this objective, both teams are 20. And red is missing some items that they had before. Now they're just down to 2 turrets, and they had 2 turrets and a heal camp and a guaranteed 3rd objective. And blue side just got another free turret. I don't understand this play right here. This split push value changes nothing about this game. I don't know why he's top lane. Like, this fort could cease to exist and it would not matter for this game. Like, it would change literally nothing if this fort just whew, right now. So I don't understand what the split push is for. It's not even about, like, not needing EXP. It's like, will top matter at all? Like, say, like, next objective was top and, like, you might need that healing fountain. Like, I could maybe see it, but next objective is mid. And the game is gonna end on either this objective or next objective. He just needs to go in... What? Wait. D.Va was caught in virulent reaction. Just go in. Wait, just go in. What? Okay, yeah, no, this is troll. Like, just not hitting D.Va right here is super, super troll. She was behind the Dragon Strike, so you don't even need to take any damage in the process. That's not ping. That is not ping. He's been going in on the kill target all game long. Like, Look at how much time you have right here. So like virulent reaction happens pretty soon. Right here. This is where virulent reaction starts. Ping adds 180 milliseconds. This is like 3 straight seconds of not going on the target. Whereas you only need about a half second to kill the diva there. Blink RW. And it's guaranteed because you have virulent reaction. And then again, you see Nick taking a bad trade right here. I think that's actually the biggest thing, is Nick just not trading correctly. Like, he doesn't step up forward and hit the people he should, but then people he can't trade with, he just like goes crazy, like the diva. Or right here, he runs straight into Diva Hanzo, which are like literally the 2 worst heroes for him to trade to on this enemy team. And you can see the immediately disastrous results where he almost dies, and he forces Henning to use his shove, and now Henning doesn't have shove for whenever self-destruct comes out, and Henning can't save Nintori. But I think Nick hard drilled this fight right here. Because again, you're in a position where you should have a massive advantage, but Nick kind of inted away the last 2 fights. He was playing really well before this, not really well, he's following up on his team. The micro was okay. But in these last fights, it's been a little sketchy. And I still haven't seen Bullet Spray do anything. Whereas I think Heavy Handed does a whole lot this game. Just permanent minus 15 armor on whoever you want. Near permanent. That was a smart play by Nick, staying out of the Divine Storm, staying out of the Durance of Hatred. I think this flank is really weird while Imperius is dying, because you know Imperius is about to die, which means either they're going to keep moving forward and this dive is going to accomplish nothing, or they're going to collapse on you and you're caught. Like, I don't know. It seems really weird. I'm actually curious if he could have peeled with Get Stuffed right here. So Sko's getting caught, gets hit with Divine Storm. Yeah, that was Hammer of Justice, Divine Storm, Durance of Hatred, Benediction. Yeah, so I think that what you should do here is just try and use Get Stuffed to peel off either the Diva or the Mephisto. Because he's got a Pulse Bomb. He has a Pulse Bomb right here through this play. So you're like, okay, all the CC is done, they just used all their abilities. I go over here, I'm right next to Imperius, and I'm pushing one of these 2 heroes off of him to try and make him survive. No, Cogent. Bullet Spray is the default pick for European Tracers. They pick it every game. Yeah, I think that was mostly Imperius getting caught, but I do think he could have tried to peel for Imperius, and it maybe was successful. I'm really not sure. At minimum, it was the correct play. Not really a whole lot to do here. They're just waiting for Imp to come back up. I think that blue team playing for this siege is... I don't know. I personally would have rather just gone back and taken these 2 camps than played for that siege. But I guess they thought they could do it after? I don't know. Tracer's pretty late to this. If Tracer just ran into that and just went on the Diva, they absolutely had the Diva pick. Absolutely. Because, like, assume this is a heavy-handed Tracer, right? Even without heavy-handed, I'm pretty sure this still works. But let's just say Tracer's running towards the fight, And then she gets here like 2 seconds earlier and just bursts this Diva down. I don't know. I think it was just the right place to be. I don't know if it would have worked, but it was the right thing to attempt. Yeah, I was saying curve around this way. Curve around. You can even just pressuring the Ana gets the Uther to divide his attention. And he gets the Ana less likely to heal the target. Like, even just doing anything down here is more valuable. Even just, why shouldn't he be able to take that path up? There was nothing stopping him. Like, there was absolutely nothing stopping him from flanking right there. Like, let's see. Like, this whole fight, Uther's over here. He can just walk right past the Uther. If the Uther actually solo combos him over here with none of his team around, he's hard trolling. Because Mephisto and Hanzo were both just bot lane. This Hanzo is not play of the game, which is the only way he could be there to kill off this, and even then he wouldn't really kill off of it. Dragon's Arrow is like the only way he actually does anything. Like this is easy path through here. Like, there's nothing zoning this the whole fight. This is an open pathway. Both DPS were in bot lane. Not consistently Storm of Heroes. Maybe with Bullet Spray because it increases the range of melee. But I doubt it. Highly, highly doubt it. Yeah, if Tracer just pressures Ana or just curls around here and just hits the D.Va, especially if Tracer has heavy-handed, there's a really high chance that that D.Va dies with either play. At minimum, you can force D.Va to drop turret or even just drop mech. See, this is the bullet spray value, guys. This is the split push in the side lane, which Ricochet also helps with. Oh, look at that wave clear. Oh. Oh. The value right there. Tracer off lane. How could I have been such a fool? Dragon Strike being used to zone Granit Gaming out. They just keep going in on D.Va. And it just like keeps not working because their combos are not crisp. If they can do this without D.Va getting self-destruct off, it's a good play. But very consistently over and over and over again, their combo is just not crisp enough to pull it off. And I think that's actually the big problem. Like, it actually makes it hard to appraise the Tracer play in team fights, because Tracer's just following up on the kill target, and the kill target isn't being properly comboed. Like, you can see right here, they're just calling to go in on the D.Va like they've called probably the 5th time this game. But D.Va gets off the self-destruct just a little bit too early for like the 3rd time. He actually does push away Uther with Get Stuffed, which is cool, but I can't really appraise that fight. He did what he was supposed to do, and just the combos aren't there. He knows he can't trade into Hanzo. Yeah. Notice how every time Nick steps up to Hanzo, he actually gets destroyed. This is like one of the main things about Tracer that you need to be aware of, is you need to think to yourself, like, who can I trade with on the enemy team and who can't I? And realistically, as long as he hits anybody that isn't Hanzo or D.Va, Nick has a really good time in these fights. And every time he's gone on Hanzo or D.Va, and I'm not counting the times where he's like following in the kill target, I'm talking about the person he chooses to trade with. Every time he chooses to trade with Hanzo or D.Va, things go poorly. You can see it like reenacted over and over and over again. Another pulse bomb on a D.Va with full bomb charge. She's just gonna go drop it right here and gets caught in the Durance. This really has to come down to who they're calling the kill target on, honestly. Like, somebody's trolling if they think they should be hitting this D.Va this often. Or else he's just trolling by hitting that D.Va with that pulse bomb. But I think just like repeatedly, that is the problem. Is just choosing to trade with the Hanzo or the D.Va and just trying to go onto D.Va consistently. D.Va is timing attack. Not ablative armor. Because, like, maybe these plays work, but not with these guys. And you can't go wombo if your team isn't crisp. Like, this is a specific problem I had in the exhibition games that I was in. Is my team was trying to play wombo when we, like, did not have familiarity with each other, and some of us were on EU. Nintori's just dead, yeah. They really needed Nintori for this attempt at a defense. They almost definitely fail anyway, but having Keg would have given them a lot more time to hit Triglove, I think. And now Triglove just ends the game, yeah, before they can even just kill it. Yeah, I think that, like, if Nick didn't troll at top push by just walking into D.Va and hitting D.Va for no reason, they're in a really good spot. If they don't troll bot fight, like almost every fight is just like the combo isn't crisp or Nick is going on the wrong target. Because Nick goes in on D.Va top, massively throws their huge advantage, dies. Bot lane, Nick goes in on D.Va and Hanzo, gets down to 10%, nearly dies. Like, fight after that, they try to combo a D.Va, doesn't work. They try to combo D.Va again, doesn't work. They lose. Like, it's like the same problem just over and over and over again. And it's almost always that, like, they're just putting, like, weird priority on hitting this D.Va.